I cut a length, and then I just start wrapping it around the egg. I press where the seam is. I use my blade and cut off the overlapping area. Wherever it feels like it wants to overlap, I pinch, and I remove that whole triangle of area, and then making sure you don't have air right at the very bottom. Make sure it's flat, and then I will bring the other side to it. And then I just continue around. Most important thing is not to get air bubbles in the clay. And then I do the same thing to the other side. Smooth the egg. And that's the important part, is making sure that you have a hole right where you blew. Just on the bottom. You don't need one on the top. The one on the bottom is enough to let that air that's inside the egg that heats up escape. And it's cool if people have gone without problems, but I know that whenever I accidentally miss this hole, I end up with air bubbles like this. I bake, and then I start sanding. Take wet, dry sandpaper. So what I do is I wet the sandpaper, and I go in circles. But I try to get it as smooth as possible. And then you rinse the eggs off and you let them dry, and make sure that any water that might have seeped in has a chance to drip out and dry. Basically, I just paint translucent liquid Sculpey wherever I want to stick any added texture. This is just the chunky glass glitter. Rub my fingers together with a little bit of the translucent liquid Sculpey. I don't want it to be too messy. And I'll just use my finger to try to create a little circle, a little dot. So now that I have some dots, I'm going to sprinkle on some glitter. You just want to check and see if the dots are where you like, and wipe away any of the liquid clay you don't like. I'm covering this pink egg with the translucent liquid Sculpey. I'm getting it all around. I'm trying to make it tacky all over without globs. Over one piece of paper, I'm throwing some glitter down. I will pour the clear glitter off on a separate paper, and then I will pour some pink glitter on. Oops. And that will be on a separate piece of paper. So I'm basically going to be giving different spots of color here and there as I go along. So here is the result. And I'm using the thin painter's tape to make some lines on the egg. Try to do it as straight as possible. That looks pretty close, so I'll trim it. And I'm going to continue putting the tape around, creating lines. So I'm going to use some True Blue Pearl X. I'm going to be mixing it up in some triple thick. You could use whatever glaze you like. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint. So I'm creating some shiny rose on our matte clay egg. From here, I'd let it dry, and then I take off the painter tape. I place some vertical tape strands, and I'm going to try to get just the center. We'll do two different colors of glitter here, using the translucent liquid Sculpey again. I'm going to use this chunky glitter this time. I'm going to try carefully to do the outside section. I'll be doing this with both sides. This time I'll actually use the thin glitter. Now we have one more side to do. And I poke around with a needle, and then when I feel where it overlaps, I lift it and then remove it. This is a nice way to get some thin, even stripes. So I will go ahead and I will cook this. I'm going to start peeling off the tape. Okay,